Okay, in this video we're going to take the first tentative steps into controlling some interactions. So user control, you will need one of the most recent versions of your LegoMan files open, and we're going to create a new file. This is a blank file and I've called it keyboard control 1. I'm going to separate this for now just so that you can see it working outside of all of the other codes. Now, with these two files open, if you go into the library, you can choose from the drop-down menu and the other open file. This allows you to find everything in that file that's available to you. So I'll take the Lego character, I'll put that onto the stage, and then I'll delete it off the stage. We're not actually going to use it on the stage. I'm going to put it in at runtime, and I'll take the hairstyles too. And then we'll delete those off the stage similarly. If we switch this back to keyboard control 1, we'll see that all of those symbols are now available to us. What that means is we can generate a copy or an instance of the Lego character on the stage, and then once we've done that we'll start to add some interactivity. So going back to our previous video, I'm just going to attach an instance of the LegoChar symbol of the class, which we've already defined. I'll do that by the keyword var, which is short for variable, and then I'll give the variable a name. I'm just going to call this LG for short, a colon, and then we put in the class name or the class type, data type, which is LegoChar or LegoChar, which is available to us from the code hinting, and that equals a new LegoChar, and then inside of the brackets I put the parameters that we set originally, which is a body colour, 0 times 44. Yeah, values are irrelevant really. On colour 668800. And then in speech marks, a string of characters, which I'll use h3, which hairstyle that is, semicolon. And once we've done that, we need to add that to the display list using the addChild command, which allows us to put that on the stage and be visible at runtime. And we also need to position it. So I'm going to use the stage height property of the stage object. And what I do there is I access the variable, so LG, and then I can access the Y property of that variable, that instance, and set that to stage.stage height. And because our registration point for this class instance is the bottom of his feet, it should therefore have him standing on the bottom of the stage. And I'll just position it slightly in from the edge at 100 pixels, and then I'll just test that to make sure it's worked. And there we go, I can see him at the bottom of the stage, all ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a basic custom function just to illustrate how we can move a symbol of any description on keyboard command, and this is based around some of the earlier videos where we covered animation with ActionScript, only this time it's on demand. And we will need to be listening for keyboard events. We can attach that to the stage, so we can go stage and add an event listener to the stage, and we can listen for a mouse event. Click, and then we can give it a function to listen for. So I'll just call that KeyEH, which is short for keyboard event handler. That's another custom function, so we now have to declare that. So function KeyEH, and we will attach to the variable e the mouse mouse event that we're listening for. Take that step back, actually. We are actually listening for keyboard event, not mouse event, and that will be key down, all capitals, and instead of listening for a mouse event with a key H, obviously we will be listening for keyboard event. And then we will respond to that. So just check that this is working. We will trace out initially the key that has been pressed. So key dot key. Let's test that. And then by pressing a key, you'll see on the output window that we've just got some key codes, some numbers. Okay, so we can now put some if statements in. So we'll just have an if for if e.keycode equals, and then we'll use the keyboard object, keyboard class, to listen for left. Now in doing so, when the left key is pressed, we should be able to trace out left key. We'll just test that. Yes, that's correct. A variable, and if I press the left key is pressed. So I only do is copy that, paste underneath, and then instead of tracing out, what we're going to do is we're going to access the LG instance, and we'll just put LG x minus equals 5. So every time the left key is pressed, it will move left 5 pixels. LG dot x plus equals 5, and change this to right. A very simple but crude method of making an object move around the screen. Okay. And there we go.